The hell. All right, everybody. Welcome to G.W.R Live.
Talking to yourself?
Yeah, I was muted again. But here on this Monday, August 1st, hard to believe it's already August. This year's going quick.
Yep.
Had a big weekend if you're a wrestling fan, as you had Summerslam Saturday night. And then last night you had the Ric Flairs last match card or pay-per-view, however you want to call that. I thought both shows were good. I enjoyed watching both of them for different reasons on both.
Yep.
But I'm joined by my dad, Tony Gonzalez, as always. How you doing, Dad?
Doing good.
So what'd you think of the just kind of overcap real quick. I thought it was two good nights of wrestling this weekend. I mean, you really couldn't complain.
Two very different nights, but yeah, two very good nights. SummerSlam, I mean, it was fantastic. I really liked it. And then I thought they did a great job with what they was trying to do with the Ric Flair's last match. Had that old school NWA feel, Crockett Promotions. I thought that looked great. I thought they give a lot of talent an opportunity, and I thought the talent performed really well. Seen a few people complain online. They thought the matches were a little too quick. It was a very quick show. I mean, they had 10 matches. Could they cut a match or two maybe and give people a little more time? Maybe, but I thought there were some outstanding performances on the show. I thought Flair got to accomplish what he wanted to accomplish. I'm glad it worked out, and I'm glad he's okay. That was the main thing I was worried about. Look, if he wanted to wrestle 10 more matches, I wouldn't care, just as long as he's okay. You know, I just want the guy to be okay. And there was times, if anybody listened to me and Chris or watched me and Chris last night, there was a few times there towards the end of that match. I don't know if Flair was okay. He looked out of it the last 3 or 4 minutes of that match, and it wasn't active. And then when he got outside the ring, they got him outside the ring, and he got stood up, and he rested for a couple of minutes. It looked like maybe he come back, but he looked completely out of it there at one point.
Yeah, he did.
But I mean, he's a 73-year-old guy, been in the ring for 25 minutes, and I know he wasn't wrestling the whole time, but that take a lot out of it.
Yeah. Yes, it would.
And there's no way he could have trained for that. Not, you know what I mean? Being in the ring, training is one thing, but being in the ring for 25 minutes is completely different.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I agree. But so what you want to talk? You want to start with the SummerSlam since that was on Saturday night, and then we'll talk the Ric Flair show after that.
Yeah, we'll do it that way. Okay, we'll start off with SummerSlam.
Yeah, Frankie, that's a big pickup for you guys. After you
Yep.
guys didn't get Castillo, that's a big pickup for the Yankees to get Montas.
Montas, and then they got a guy named Trevino too.
Yep.
Which I don't know a lot about Trevino. I know Montas. But anyway, the SummerSlam deal. I tell you what, I really like the setup they had there at the Tennessee Stadium, the Titan Stadium. I thought it was beautiful the way they had it set up, and they sold about the attendance was 48,000 was I think what they announced, almost 49,000 for the attendance. So I think it went off pretty good for them. The first match was Becky Lynch and Bianca Belaire. I thought that was a great choice. I thought it was a fantastic match. I like the two wrestling each other because they wrestle each other a lot and they do a lot of counter moves, stopping each other. I mean, you shouldn't wrestle somebody all the time and be able to hit your move all the time on them because they know what you're going to do. So you should be able to counter stuff, make stuff look difficult and block stuff and have to do new stuff. And they did a lot of that. Both those guys' facial expressions and their selling is great. I love the match. I love the handshake after the match, and then I like that. And then I like after they shook hands and after the match was over, they went to a promo and recapping the show, that match. And then here comes Bailey, and then and they let it breathe a little bit, and then here come Dakota Sky, and then they let it breathe just a little bit, and they let it, and then you got Dakota Kai, and then you got Leo, now Sky is what they're calling her. She came out and they confronted in the ring, and then Becky gets in the ring, and it looks like Becky's definitely turning face again. So that first 30 minutes of that show was really well done, and the fans loved it.
Oh yeah, I thought the action in the ring was awesome, but what I really loved was they didn't rush the moment.
Yep.
Like you said, Bailey came out, and then there was like a pause. They let everybody take what was happening in,
yep.
And then the other one came out, and then you had a few seconds to take that in. It wasn't rushed. I thought the way they had it set up was real good, and it was a great match, a great way to kick off SummerSlam because, I mean, they got the crowd going right off from the get go, and then you had those surprises. That crowd was buzzing, ready for the next match.
Yeah, and I've heard a couple people complain, and I don't think it's valid. Maybe I can understand it. They came out swinging with those surprises, and people got their hopes up. Hey, look what they did already. We're gonna get more surprises. Here comes the Fiend, or here comes this, and here comes that. I think people get a little carried away. I mean, they didn't get major surprises after that, but they got a lot of stuff after that. I mean, we'll talk about it as we go on. I really enjoyed the first match. The second match, there was a huge surprise in that for me, how good Logan Paul was. Logan Paul knocked it out of the park. He looked like he'd been wrestling for 10 years. It was fantastic. Of course, Miz is great. Can't give him enough credit. It was a fantastic match. Ciampa was involved, and then AJ Styles comes out, music plays. He comes out of the crowd, which I thought was nice. Instead of coming down the ramp, he come out of the crowd and attack him out. And of course, Logan Paul hit the skull crushing finale on the Miz for the victory. So and the big thing about that was Logan Paul came out to booze and left with cheers.
Yeah.
And so that's surprising.
I thought it was a good match. I thought Logan Paul did great. And I'll tell you what, guys like Logan Paul, Pat McAfee, them guys are setting a new standard for guys that are not per se, their first job isn't per se a professional wrestler. They're kind of considered stars. They're outsiders.
Yep.
But they're setting a new level for some of these guys that come in because and I got to put Bad Bunny in there as well. It's Bad Bunny. But them three guys there have had some of the best in-ring work out of like outside guys, like stars that we've seen. So they're kind of setting a new standard for guys that come in to do that hey, you're going to have to take it serious or you're going to look bad because people are going to start comparing you to these guys.
Yep. Oh, definitely. I agree. I mean, if a guy can be a part-timer and come in and perform like that, why aren't you getting over? Why aren't you performing like that? So yeah, I agree. The next match we had, and of course we watched the show. We did a watch along, and so we had the sound down because we can't broadcast the sound over the stream that we did. And so I watched the show back the next day, and I was really surprised. And it's for one reason this happened. The Lashley and Theory match was next, and it was a solid match. It was good, but how much the crowd was into it, man. The crowd was really into it big time. And it's for one, I mean, they love Bobby. They like Bobby Lashley. I'm not putting Lashley down, but it's because of the heat that Theory's got, man.
Yeah.
Theory is really becoming a really great heel for them. In a very short period of time. So it was a good match. Theory can perform. He's going to be a big star for WWE in the future, no doubt. Whether it's near future or later on, he's going to be a big star. Lashley is still performing great. Probably 40 years old. He's still performing great. So Lashley held on to the United States title, but again, a very good match.
Oh yeah, it was a real good match. Yeah, Fury's getting a lot of heat, and that's something WWE needed was another great heel, and he's starting to turn into to that. And then I think he's also a guy that later on they'll be able to turn him face, and he'll be able to get over as well. So yeah, I think he's going to be a big star for him. But yeah, both them guys can go in the ring, and I thought it was a good and a pretty hard hitting match as well.
Yeah, it was.
And I know both of us like that. So no, I thought it was a good match.
Yeah. And then the fourth match, we had the Mysterios and the Judgment Day. It was a no DQ match. It was a good match, real solid. I really enjoyed it. The crowd loved it, was into it. Of course, Edge ended up coming out and made a pretty cool entrance with the fire and kind of the brood type thing, and showing some new colors and a new T-shirt that I know your son and my grandson has already told me last night he's buying that in a sweatshirt form Friday if he can get it because he loved it. But anyway, I thought it was good. I know my grandson Austin thought that the Edge return was a little flat. I don't agree that it was flat. I just that the fact that I think why maybe it was a little he thought it was flat is because man he just came back a year or two ago and then he turned and then they turned him back so quick to a good guy. I think maybe that's what it is. I still think the fans are into it. I think it's more important what happens tonight.
Yeah, I didn't think it was flat, but I think the reason some people were saying that is because of what Glenn Richardson is saying right here. That some people thought Edge's return was going to be the Fiend. So,
Yeah.
like you said earlier, people was they start expecting things, and then when it don't happen, I liked the Edge, and I thought it was great how they done like the brood thing with them, and I loved it. And I'm interested to see what they do tonight with it. But as far as the match was good too, and that's a couple matches in a row. I'll tell you what that the Mysterios have looked real good in because last week I think it was on Raw last week. That was they had a hell of a match then on that night. They were celebrating Mysterio's 20 years. So I mean, Ray can still go.
Yeah, let me ask you something. I see a lot of hate out there for Dom. People love to hate on Dominic Mysterio, and
I've noticed that.
I think a big reason is because he never went to NXT. I think that his dad trained him, and that's how they got the sign. And I'll be honest with you, this is my opinion. I think that's how they got Ray to stay. Is Dom got to come up with him and that type of thing. I do think, don't you think Mysterio Dominic has put on a little bit of weight?
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I think he's put on a little bit of weight.
Not necessarily muscle. I don't know if he's ever going to be a muscular guy, but I think he's gotten bigger. I think he's put on weight. I think he's put on some size, and I think he's good in the ring. I think people are too hard on him.
I agree. I see a lot of people that hate on him. I think he's good. I enjoy watching him. Like I said, the last two matches they've had, I thought they've been real good matches.
I think if they do this story right with the Mysterios, Edge, the Judgment Day, I think this could be a huge feud to go maybe as far as to Royal Rumble or even further. And I would like to see that. I don't think we have enough of that in wrestling. I want to see big feuds. We don't have to see them wrestle every week. You can see a good interview 1 week, and then you can see them attack somebody the next week, and then there's different ways of doing it, and I wish they'd go a little old school NWA with Triple H there. We may get it. I'd like to see that. I mean, I don't think we're going to see Edge in the title picture. I don't think he needs to be in the title picture at this point. So I'm hoping to, hey man, let's really build another big heel faction with the Judgment Day, and let's get something with Edge. Maybe it's with the Mysterios, maybe it's not. But
Yeah, I was because I'm not gonna lie, I was waiting on Dom to turn on Ray. I thought that's what was going to happen.
I think it still might happen, but we'll see. Ray may be fighting it. He may not want to do. He may not want to go down that road. So.
Hell, they went down the road that he was Eddie Guerrero's son, but
they went down a rough road.
The dude was a little kid.
Yep, they sure did. Next up, we had the fifth match on the card was Pat McAfee against Happy Corbin. I tell you what, man, I know that there was a couple little slip ups where McAfee about slipped and fell, but he didn't. He worked through it, and the moves worked. I tell you, I watched that one move where he did that move off the top rope and landed. I tell you what, man, he landed on his head pretty hard. Yeah. He back hit him, and he come back on his head. He hit his head pretty hard. I'm glad he's all right. Love the entrance of McAfee's entrance. I liked when Corbin was coming out, and they had the choir there singing "Bum Ass Corbin." Yeah. I thought that was cool. Then the choir did the thing for when McAfee come in. I thought that was different. I thought it was cool. I enjoyed it. What I liked about the match, it wasn't about the move. It was the storytelling. I thought they did really great storytelling. And what added to that was Cole and Graves on commentary. It added so much to the match, and the crowd was really into it. I thought it was a great match. McAfee got the win, but I don't think they're done, and I do look for maybe Graves to get involved. Hell, you never know. Cole may end up getting involved in the end, So, but I think this is going to go a little bit further too.
Yeah, I do too. I thought it was real good. I haven't went back and watched it with the commentary yet. I want to because I want to hear. You could tell Michael Cole was going crazy, especially when McAfee won. You could see him in the background over there going crazy. So I want to hear that. But yeah, I'd like to see him keep this feud going because I like it. And McAfee had a couple slip ups, but to me, they really wasn't. They were near slip ups because he was able to save it and be able to do what he was supposed to do. And that leap he does to that top rope, man, people got to remember you're leaping. And I mean, the thing you're trying to land on is maybe a quarter to a half inch thick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you're going to have little mishaps like that. So, I really enjoy it. I thought it was one of the stronger matches of the night.
It was a great match. And the thing about Michael Cole, to go back to that a little, if you haven't got to yet, watch SmackDown. Vince ain't around no more. Michael Cole's a whole brand new Michael Cole. He ain't got Vince in his ear. He can say pretty much what he wants to say. He can be more himself, and his commentary is. I'm not saying he was ever bad, but it's a new level now. And
I was gonna say, a lot of people are saying he's quietly doing the best work he's ever done.
And it's going to get better. With Vince not being in his ear, I think it's going to get better. Okay, the next match was the sixth match of the night. It was the Usos and Street Profits for the championships, the Undisputed Championships. Had Jeff Jarrett as a special referee.
Hey, Dad. Hey, real quick.
Yep.
Damien said that McAfee and Corbin was way better than Pat versus Adam Cole. Man, I like them both, so it's hard for me because I really enjoyed both matches.
I think this match was more physical.
Yeah,
and well, I would say it's possible because I think that McAfee's better now.
Yeah,
McAfee's better now than he was when he took on Cole, and I'm not putting Cole down in any way.
And another thing, when he wrestled Cole, there was no fans.
That's true, and that makes a difference too.
Because that was back when they were just doing that at the Performance Center.
Yep. Okay. One thing with the Street Profits, real quick. I love the ring gear. I know I'm not a Tennessee Titan fan, but I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
I really loved the gear. I thought Jeff Jarrett added to the match. I thought it was really good. Usos, I asked you during the show. I think they might be the best tag team going right now. I don't. I mean, I know some people may say Young Bucks. I know FTR is very good, and I'm not putting them down. I think they're really good too, but I don't know, man. Just the exposure and everything with the Usos, I think it's in their corner right now. That's just my opinion. I'm not trying to piss anybody off, but
No, I agree.
Usos are really good.
I thought that match was a real strong match. It was one of the stronger matches of the night. It was. I really enjoyed it.
Yep.
I love Montez Ford, and I'll tell you what, Dawkins over the last month or so I've really became more of a bigger fan of him.
Well,
He's been starting to stand out some, where before I've always thought Montez was the one that always stood out. But
yep.
now you're starting to see Dawkins stand out a little bit
I think
on his own, and I like that.
I think he figured I better, or I'm gonna be in trouble because everybody's talking about him, and he gonna get the push, and I'll be. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens there, if they keep them together or if they break them up, or where they go with that. Some people say, you break them up and have a few. Some people say you could just split them up and go their separate ways, and so we'll see what happens there. Right after that match, we had out of nowhere, Riddle came out of the crowd, and he's pissed off because he wasn't cleared to wrestle, and he calls out Seth Rollins. Of course, Seth Rollins comes out, and a bunch of people come out trying to stop Rollins, trying to stop Riddle. Riddle comes down the ramp, and they fight some, and then they get in the ring, and unfortunately, Rollins got the best of Riddle and got stomped him again. Thought Riddle played that up pretty good. They're building for a big match at I think over there in England. I think that's why this was put off, because they needed another big match for there, and so I think that's what they was doing, setting that up. So I thought that was a pretty good segment. The crowd seemed into it. Rollins is so good as a heel.
Oh yeah,
they almost love him too much. So and Riddle's doing a great job. They're trying to turn Riddle into a massive baby face is what they're working on. So, and I think they're doing a pretty good job of it. Next we had the.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, for that segment, I missed that segment, to be honest, because I was watching
Oh, he was on the UFC.
I clicked over to the UFC to see what was going on there.
Yeah,
so I haven't watched that. I haven't watched that segment yet, but I knew when I got back on, you guys was talking about it. So I mean, it seemed like it was a pretty good segment. Like you said, they're building up for another big match.
Yep.
And anything Seth Rollins is in is going to be good. He's not going. And Riddle's starting to get to that point too, that whatever he's in going to be good, because he's a good baby face as well.
Yeah, for the last few months, guys like Riddle and Rollins, even Kevin Owens, they've been kind of MVPs for, with all the injuries they had, and everything. They've been kind of MVPs. They kept hope that, and with the what's his name, Roman Reigns not being around all the time. Them guys have been kind of holding the ship together, to be honest with you. They've been kind of MVPs for that show, for Raw and SmackDown. Okay, then we had match 7. It was the SmackDown Women's Championship, Rousey and Morgan. It was a decent match. I think that some time got cut off of it, and it may have made it a little uneven, because they made Rousey look pretty strong, which I understand. You couldn't have Liv go out there and just destroy Rousey, because it's not gonna be believable.
Yeah.
But Liv got the pin, but Rousey had a submission on, and the ref was looking at the pin, and Liv tapped about the time the third count was coming down. So it left questions. So I don't know where they're going with that. Rousey went nuts afterwards. I'm thinking maybe they're turning Rousey to heel. So we'll see where that goes. But that's the good thing about that is people are going to want to watch SmackDown. Let's see where that goes. You leave things, a certain way, so people's going to watch the next show. But it was a decent match. It wasn't the best match on the card by far, but it was decent. And then we get to the big main event. It was the Undisputed Heavyweight Championship and a last man standing match, Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. First of all, Roman's entrance, every time the Usos and Paul Heyman come out, and they've got the lay things on, the Samoan stuff on, and it's just cool. The crowd loves it. It's the biggest entrance. excuse me, the biggest entrance in wrestling. I know people love to hate on it too, but a lot more people like it than hate it. So, but I loved it great. And then the next entrance we had Lesnar, who comes out, walks out first, and then all of a sudden he stops and goes back and gets a tractor, and people's wondering what the hell's going on. And of course that played real big later on. But the crowd loved it. It was definitely
not
something.
just any tractor. It was like a little lawn tractor. This was a big ass farm tractor.
Oh yeah, it barely fit inside where they needed to fit in. Barely.
Well, who knows? It might have been Lesnar's personal tractor off his property.
Could have been. It may have been. I'll tell you what. This was an awesome match, man. It was different than anything that I ever seen. I would say it's the best last man standing match I've ever seen. Like again, I said it was different. Just Lesnar was fantastic. Roman Reigns was fantastic. I thought the Usos were fantastic. But I'll tell you, the person who I thought was the most fantastic, Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman at one point begging Lesnar and then sucking him in, and they beat on Lesnar. And then another time he does it, and Lesnar gives him the F5, and then he stays down for 5-6 minutes or longer, and it never did get back to normal. I mean, after the match was over, after they got the victory, I mean, they're helping him up, and then they walk back to the entranceway, and he's still with that look on his face for 10 minutes. The man is unbelievable.
Well, he didn't move an inch for probably at least 5 minutes, maybe longer after he got the F5. I mean, he never moved at all. He just
never moved. Never moved. You'd have thought they'd give him a tranquilizer or something and put him out, because he didn't move nothing. And
Glenn Richardson said what didn't happen in the main event.
yeah. It was one of the craziest things I ever seen. And I tell you something else that was perfect after watching it back, and how the crowd goes crazy is when everybody's down on the floor. Here comes Theory running to the ring. It was perfect. Not music hit. Everybody's down. Here he comes. It was perfectly done. And some people think that they're making Theory look too weak. I don't think that's an issue. He's a chicken shit heel. I don't think that's an issue. I think when they want to make him look strong, they'll make him look strong. That's not going to be a problem.
No.
But yeah, I thought it was a fantastic match. I really enjoyed it.
And they timed out where he got hit right before he cashed in right before he cashed it in, and they made it look like he was going to.
Yep. The referee never did it. So yeah.
I mean, that was, I'll be honest, main event to me, it was my match of the night.
Yep.
And it might, I mean, they did not, don't take this the wrong way. Hope people don't, because I'm not saying their work in the ring was bad. The work in the ring was good. There might have been a match I thought maybe it was a little bit better, but with everything that happened and entertainment and everything, that was definitely the match of the night. I mean, like you said, I agree. That's probably the best last man standing match I've seen. And then with what Brock Lesnar done at the end of the match, or not even at the end of the match, but toward the end of the match. I mean, that was something we've never seen that.
Yeah. He picked up that ring, and I read an article on that, and they said that things didn't go exactly the way they wanted to. It went a little rougher than what they wanted it to. I don't know exactly what they meant, but it didn't go perfect. I don't know if it was supposed to go up that way, or if it was supposed to go this way, but it didn't go perfect.
And you saw the first time he tried to pick it up, he didn't get under it. Then when he went the other time, he hit it hard, moved the ring.
Yep. Oh, he moved him quite a bit.
Yeah,
2 or 3 feet. But yeah, it was. I tell you, I thought it was a pretty awesome SummerSlam. One of the better ones I've seen. I'd have to go back and watch some other ones, but. Yeah, I've heard people say that they should have used the tractor to trap him, but we've seen forklifts do that before.
Yeah,
that's the only thing. I think people would have compared that to the forklifts. That's maybe why they didn't do it. But I thought it was pretty cool, and like I said, this was different. You know, if they would have did it to trap him, people would have said that. But they've done also trapping people with tables before too. So, you know, but I thought it was a really good show. I really enjoyed it, and I'm excited. There's a lot of rumors going around for Monday Night Raw tonight. So I hear the first hour is going to be no commercials. I hear there's rumors going around that Sasha Banks and Naomi is back. When they come back, I don't know, because I know that they're booked for August 6th, I think, in Chicago.
They might. Who knows? They might have backed out of those bookings.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they can get out of them.
Or maybe they got, or maybe they'll be back tonight with WWE, but they talked to had it set up with Triple H. Hey, we already had this. Can we do this? And then
maybe that's a possibility. So we'll see if that story's true. I know that I think there will be people back. They was already paying Sasha so much money and Naomi so much.
I know it's getting a little ahead, but there's a few guys that we watched last night that I think they need to be calling.
One in particular. Well, there's two in particular in my eye. Not necessarily because of the match he had last night on one of them. It's because what he was in NXT, and he's out there and he's available. There's a lot of people I know Triple H would love to have back. He just can't get back.
Yeah,
they're under contract, and they're 3, 4, 5 year contract, and it's not feasible. It's not going to happen. But there are names out there that I think I think Johnny Gargano is something he's definitely going to talk to. He's going to talk to Gargano. Whether Gargano comes back, I don't know. I would think he's going to talk to Karrion Kross. He was one of them was referring to we seen last night. I think he's going to talk to him. I think Kross would love to come back with Triple H. Now, whether that gets worked out or not, we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, you want to get into that Ric Flair show now?
Yep, we can do that. First match on the card, you had what they were calling the tag team dream match. Yep. Motor City Machine Guns against the Wolves. Machine Guns are Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley. The Wolves was Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards. It was a real solid match. I really enjoyed it. I didn't know a whole lot about either one of these teams, but man, I thought it was real solid.
Yeah, two very underrated tag teams in the world of wrestling because they've never been on a big stage like WWE or even an AEW. They've been on Impact and stuff like that. They're really great tag teams. They can go.
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed the match. Real quick, y'all think Road Dogg will come back to WWE?
I do.
I do. I think there's a big chance of him being back.
But I have read in interviews that, and it might change under Triple H because Triple H style, probably of writing may end up being different than what Vince was. I know that because Road Dogg worked with WWE and he wasn't a big fan of up on the big roster because so many writers and having to work with so many writers. He liked it a lot better than NXT because there was only 2 or 3 writers and a lot easier to work for his style. And he's more apt to go to NXT. Now, if the writing style changes in the WWE, he might be fine with going back to WWE.
Yeah. Then the next match we had Killer Kross against Davey Boy Smith Jr. I thought this was an excellent match. I thought both guys looked real good. I think.
Let me ask you something real quick. I read a story that the guy said that Davey Boy Smith got squashed in that match.
How?
What this guy said that Karrion Kross squashed him. I didn't think he squashed him. I didn't think it was a real long match, but I didn't think he squashed him.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think he squashed him. I thought it was a good match. Well, I was getting ready to say I thought both of them could be guys that might make their way to WWE. I thought Davey Boy Smith Jr. looked real good. I'll tell you what, he looks just like his looks almost exactly like his dad, really.
I wish he would because he was signed and then the pandemic happened and Scarlett's Look did steal the show. I can't lie about that. But anyway, I hope. Well, I definitely hope Karrion Kross gets a shot, but I would hope Smith would because he was signed and there for a year and never got used once. and I don't understand that. So I hope they both would get a shot.
Yeah, then you had this next match. This was an awesome match, fatal four-way match.
Yes.
With, Jonathan Gresham, Alan Angels, Nick Wayne, and Takashita. I'm not going to try to say the first name because I'll mess it all up. And I'll tell you what, this was really my first time seeing Takashita.
I love him.
Jonathan Gresham was awesome as well. And then that Nick Wayne, 16-year-old,
Yes.
and he didn't. I mean, if you look at him, you could tell he's young, but he didn't look like a 16-year-old in that ring. Oh man, and you can't leave out Alan Angels either because he looked. I thought he had moments in that match where he looked real good as well. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was an awesome match.
Yeah.
It was high paced, a lot of action, and I mean, I'm usually more into the storytelling kind of slow paced matches a little more, but that I really enjoyed it. It was fun to watch.
It was really, really well put together for four guys that's not used to working together. And out of the 4 or 5 times I've seen Takashita, Chris, that was probably my least favorite match, and he still looked great, fantastic. I'm telling you, there's matches out there you gotta check this guy out, Chris. He is outstanding. I hope that Triple H is looking at this dude because he is outstanding. And he wrestles on AEW quite a bit, but he loses every match. I mean, they just bring him in and feed him to people. I mean, he gives them good matches, but I mean, he's wrestled Moxley. He's wrestled a lot of good people. I mean, he's getting a lot of good experience. So I don't think he's a real old guy, probably 23, 24 years old. But he's a bigger Japanese guy, and he can do anything that the smaller guys can do, and he can do the big guys. He hits hard. So, I really like him.
Then the next match we had Brian Pillman Jr. and Brock Anderson against Ricky Morton and Kerry Morton.
Yep.
I enjoyed the match. I mean, yeah, wrestling wise, it didn't have as much as maybe some of the other matches, but I mean, Ricky Morton knows how to work a crowd, and you had Arn Anderson out there. I mean, I thought it was solid.
Yeah, had wrong,
but it wasn't. I don't think it was at the level maybe a couple of the other matches, but it was still solid. And I'm a big Rock and Roll Express fan, so I enjoyed seeing them guys out there.
Yep.
And I like that Brock Anderson because he just reminds me of old school. He looks like just an old school brawler, and
looks like his dad. Yep.
Then we had Phoenix against Bandito, Laredo Kid, and Taurus in a 4-way match.
That was that 4-way match. All the masked guys.
Yeah.
That might have been the match of the night, Chris.
Oh, that was real good, man. That match was crazy as well.
They put on a show, man.
The crowd was into it too.
That dude wasn't very big, and he had that big dude in his arms on the top rope and did that flip with him in his arms out on the other two guys. They did some stuff I've never seen before.
Yeah, it was real good, and like I said, the crowd was going crazy that whole match. I mean, it was
one advantage that those 4 guys had. They all work AAA, and they've all worked with each other quite a bit. So the match was real well put together. And because them guys worked, they worked together really well, so it looked really good.
And then the next match might be the guy, might have the guy that stole in my eyes stole the show last night.
Yes,
you had Josh Alexander versus Jacob Fatu.
That was a really good match too. That last match and this match might have been the matches of the night. Yeah.
And Jacob Fatu to me was probably the standout of the night. I mean, I thought he looked awesome in that match. And I'm not putting nobody down because there was a lot of people I thought was really good, but
yes,
I mean, he was just one that stood out to me the most.
He looks like Umanga in a way, but he could wrestle like Umanga did, like a brute. His nickname is the Samoan Werewolf. but
He's
he can do high flying stuff. He can do stuff that he shouldn't be able to do. And he was really on last night. Really on.
That match ended in a no contest.
And of course, Josh Alexander, I've been singing his praises for a while now, and Impact heavyweight champ. I really like him. I think he's really good. I know Chris don't like his headgear.
And then you had another real good tag team match. You had the Briscoes against the Von Erichs. Briscoes ended up getting the victory, but it was a real good match. And I'll tell you what, if I'm WWE or one of them, I know why there's some issues, but it sucks because the Briscoes should be. The Briscoes are one. They're good.
Just think about Chris. You got say FTR. You've got the Usos. A lot of people's gonna say, "Oh, help me out, Chris. I can't think of the ones at Super Kick Party."
Young Bucks.
Young Bucks. All three of them teams are great.
Yep.
There's no way that I'm gonna sit there and say that all them three teams are a lot better than the Briscoes. Briscoes are right there in that company. I mean, with them four guys, and they might be better than all. I don't know, but they're right there. I mean, they're one of the top tag teams in the world. There ain't no doubt about it. And I just wish they could get, if they want to be on a bigger stage, and maybe they don't want to be. I mean, I know they like to be on the farm and do shit. So I don't know, but I do know that their opportunities have been limited because of some things in the past.
Yeah, but that was a real solid match, and even the Von Erichs looked good.
They're a fantastic tag team that could go anywhere. I don't think they want to just go anywhere because I think they live in Hawaii and they like their lifestyle, and I don't think they want to be on the road 300 days a year.
Next one was the Knockouts Championship match.
Yeah.
You had Jordan Grace against Donna Purrazzo and Rachel Ellering.
Yep.
Grace ended up retaining the title, and this was a real good match.
Yeah.
It looked like Ellering might have got hurt there at the beginning, but then I think she did get hurt, but she was able to get back up and kind of tough through it. And I thought she did a real good job. That Grace was real impressive.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed the match.
Yeah, Grace is another one that could be a top level at AEW, or I think a very high level at WWE. I think that she's got to calm herself down on Twitter and some of her opinions. And if she did that, I think that she could, because she's a great talent. She's one of the better women's wrestlers out there. Purrazzo's good too. A little bit different style, but she's good also. And Ellering looked good.
Yeah. And then after that we had the main event. What everybody was there for. You had Ric Flair and Andrade against Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. I enjoyed it. I mean, Flair couldn't do some of the stuff. He couldn't do stuff he used to do, but he done a lot of his trademark stuff. Jeff Jarrett's in phenomenal shape, and he came out and he took a drink from a fan and threw it on him, and I mean he had a lot of heat with the fans. It was great, and then Flair came out. He done the Jarrett would keep doing the Flair strut inside the ring and stuff, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, he
not gonna lie, there was a couple times toward the end of that match that I was afraid we was gonna watch Ric Flair die in the ring.
Yeah,
I mean, but for what it was, I thought it was awesome.
It was what Ric Flair wanted, and as long as he come out alive, that's all that mattered to me. I'm glad he got to do what he wanted. I mean, I think there was 8,000 or 9,000 fans that was extremely happy with the show, happy with seeing Flair. I think they was happy to also be able to see some of the people that was there to see the match. You know, Undertaker sitting in the front row, Mick Foley, Bret Hart, Diamond Dallas Page. There was a lot of people there, you know, out of respect for, for him. And Jeff Jarrett was I mean, don't get me wrong, Ric Flair was a star, but Jeff Jarrett can still get heat better than probably 95% of the wrestlers in the wrestling business right now.
Yeah.
Jarrett was on fire. And Jay Lethal did a great job. I thought all 4 guys did a great job. I thought Flair did everything he could do. They probably could have cut 10 minutes off that match.
Yeah, I thought the match was a little long.
And because I think Flair's body at 73 years old, I think he would have stayed a little fresher and would have been in better shape at the end if they would have cut some time. I know he wasn't in the ring all the time, but he's still out there.
Yeah.
He's still 73 years old and not in the best physical condition in the world. But I thought it was a really good show. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good show. Hell, I'm waiting on video of the after party with Kid Rock to come out. He said Ric Flair got the microphone, told everybody thanks for coming and everything, thanked all the Undertaker and all them. And then he goes, everything you heard about me is true. And he was going to the part. He named off the place he was going to be out with Kid Rock at the after party. I was rolling.
Well, I listened to Bust Open today, and Mark Henry and Dave LaGreca and Tommy Dreamer said that Flair didn't need to be hanging out with no Kid Rock. So Kid Rock will kill you. They said you don't need to be hanging with him. That's the last thing you need to do. And and he said Tommy Dreamer said he thought this would be Flair's last match. And Mark Henry don't. Mark Henry said that he'll be at the next. Mark Henry said I didn't get to go this one. I'll be at the next one. That's what Mark Henry said. Mark Henry said there'll be another one. I hope he's wrong. But
man, I don't see there being. I don't see there being another one.
I did see a AEW hater get on there and was slamming WWE. Said, why couldn't WWE send somebody at that show? Everybody else had somebody there performing on the show. And somebody got on there and wrote, said, idiot. Jeff Jarrett was there. And he said, well, what do you mean, Jeff Jarrett? Jeff Jarrett don't work for WWE. I said, yes, he does. He's the head of their, he's in charge of their live event. Has been for a couple months. He's the president of the, he's the main person in charge of the live event. He said, well, that don't count.
And he was just on SummerSlam the night before.
And he said, well, that don't count. He's not performing. And he said, he's just a referee in SummerSlam the night before. And the guy said, that don't count. And Undertaker is under contract still with WWE. Bret the Hitman Hart is under contract with the WWE. Maybe Legends contract, but still under contract.
Rikishi was there. Hall of Famer Rikishi. He's under contract with WWE.
The other one, Mick Foley just signed a Legends deal with the WWE. They all made appearances. You know,
and look how many of the WWE guys was on there talking about Flair.
Now I will say
Ziggler, Shawn Michaels. There was a lot of WWE guys that was on done the little talk for a minute or two about him.
Jerry the King Lawler, did a big thing on it. I mean, they don't main contract people. No, they do not usually let those be on regular TV show appearances. Not usually. But now these other ones they did allow, and I don't know why the haters have got to hate.
It's just I don't know. I guess that's the popular thing to do is to hate the WWE.
Oh, there's people that said that the SummerSlam was horrible, that it was boring and same old WWE. Things ain't gonna change with Triple H. It sucks. And anybody that watched SummerSlam and tells me that show sucks, they're a hater because that show did not suck.
No, it was a good show. Real good show. That show last night was a real good show. Like I said, I enjoyed both. I had fun, but sitting here watching them both and doing the watch-alongs both nights because they're both real good shows. Hell, there was 4 or 5 of us on that watch-along Saturday night still when the main event happened, and we were all going crazy. We were all going crazy when Brock Lesnar lifted that ring up.
And a couple of those guys are more AEW guys.
Yeah.
A couple of those guys are not not huge WWE fans. They're more AEW guys. One guy's just a guy learning about wrestling. And honestly, me and you are probably a little bit more WWE guys than we are AEW.
Yeah.
Like I said, 2 months ago, AEW's put on one of the best
pay-per-views we've watched in a long time.
Yeah. So I mean, it don't make a difference. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. AEW.
I don't understand. I said it yesterday. Why can't people just be fans of pro wrestling? Why do you have to be this fan or this fan or this? No, if there's good pro wrestling on and I'm at home or whatever, I'll watch it.
Yep.
I don't care who, if it's, I watch more independent stuff now than I do a lot of the more big stuff, because we do a lot of the independent stuff and we interviewed a lot of these guys. So I'd like to try to know something about them before we, just go on an interview blind. And then plus, a lot of these guys I consider friends now, so I like watching their matches and seeing them progress. I mean, hell, we got to see guys that basically were just like a month into their careers, how much they've improved from then to now. And to me, it's been awesome.
Yeah,
to see all them young guys that were just starting basically when we started doing the commentary stuff, and then to see where they're at now, man. That's why if you're a young wrestler and you're looking to get trained, I highly recommend that get a hold of Joey Owens or Jake Oman.
Yep.
They got a good school going down there at WCWO, and I know Oman also has the White River Wrestling. Yep. But and then plus WCWO has a show every Friday night. So if you're serious about it, it gives you a chance to hone your craft every week.
And the other thing is, we've seen how many good wrestlers they put out, and all the shows we get to, how many of those wrestlers we see getting booked, being booked on those shows because they're so good. So definitely an advantage to going to a good school, and WCWO is a good school.
Oh yeah. All right. You got anything else before we get out of here?
No, I think I'm good.
We do got a big show Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern as pro wrestler Logan Myers, who's also one of them guys that we got to see early in his career, and the growth he's made has been amazing. Should be a great time sitting down with him on Wednesday. So make sure you join us for that live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at Gonzo Sports Room. Then this weekend we have two big wrestling shows for DCCW. Yep. One at the Anderson Soul Fest on Saturday I believe at 7.
Yep.
And then the other one's in Muncie, Indiana, at the National Guard Armory. Yep. It's a benefit show for Jordan Noble, and the Pope Elijah Burke is going to be on both shows. Going to be a great weekend of wrestling, so make sure you come join us for that.
Yep.
Was there something else you was going to add, Dad?
On that
Did
show,
I say what you was good?
On that show, well, not really. On that show on Saturday, the show's at 7, but there are going to be meet and greets starting at 5 there at that park in Anderson. So you get to meet a lot of the wrestlers and get autographs and stuff. So people might want to check that out too.
Yep, it's gonna be a cool event. Make sure you check it out. I want to thank everybody for joining us.
Bring your lawn chairs. Bring your lawn chairs because you may need seats.
Bring lawn chairs.
Some pictures, but you might need some seats.
And then also join us tonight for Gonzo Sports Room at 11 p.m. Eastern tonight. We're going to talk about Deshaun Watson's suspension, all the big trades that are going on in Major League Baseball. So come join us for that tonight at 11. You got anything else?
Nope, I'm good to go.
All right. I want to thank everybody for joining us, and we will see you guys next time on G.W.R Live. Come join us tonight at 11. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Like and follow on Facebook. We appreciate the support. Stay safe and have a good day.